Okay, welcome to How to Sell Services Online for Instant Cash Part 2. We're going to talk about probably the most important aspect of selling your services online, and that is marketing your services. Clients are everywhere. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I absolutely guarantee you that there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of people out there right now who would love to pay you for something you already know how to do or can learn very easily. Now, the difference between someone who provides services that is fat and happy and others who are poor and hungry is that some people think like marketers and others think like service providers. You're not a service provider, you're a person marketing your services. That is the real key. That's what I want to talk about both in this video and the videos to come. If you stop thinking about perfecting your service and honing your craft and getting everything perfect on the service side of it and start thinking about marketing your services, that is when business will start to come in. So there are some obvious places that you can look for clients. There are, the top outsourcing sites. It may depend on your service, but if you're a writer or a programmer or a designer, anything like that, you know what the top outsourcing sites are. They are Elance, they're Rent-A-Coder, Guru.com. You know what the sites are. You can take a look. I'll tell you what, the competition can be really tough, and I have not gotten a lot of business from these sites because of the competition. It takes so long and so much feedback to be competitive with the other people who make their livings on these sites that I would really suggest that you go into some of the other marketing techniques that we're going to talk about. But if you do want work today, you can go to Craigslist, and it helps if you can do it in your local area. But you can look up any big city. Go to New York or LA or San Francisco or Miami, any big city, and check out the jobs that are available there. And I'll tell you a little story about how you can actually set yourself apart on this type of a site. When I had to sublet my apartment in New York, which is a very competitive real estate market, I used Craigslist, but I didn't do it like everyone else. I wrote the best damn classified ad for a sublet apartment you've ever seen in your life, which described the apartment in these beautiful terms, even though it was like a 450-foot studio, and said how desirable it was, and I took better photos than anyone else, and I put together a better ad than anyone else, and I used scarcity. When the time came to show the apartment, I booked 8 people to come and see the apartment on the same day, one after the other. So the first people who came through the door, they saw the list of people coming after them on my whiteboard, and they decided to take the place on the spot because of the scarcity involved. And now I have a nice recurring income because I'm actually charging them a premium to rent the place. So that is an example of how you can use just a little bit of ingenuity to set yourself apart, because otherwise the competition will kill you. Now, another obvious place, which is I think a little bit better, is forums, because in a forum you are interacting with people on a more social basis, so you can more easily develop long-term relationships with top-notch clients. Forums can be a really good way to get to know the top people in your niche. And there are all kinds of forums that you can use to get business, because perhaps you have specialized knowledge in a particular niche. If you know a lot about gardening, well, there are people in gardening forums that outsource article writing and web design and graphics and all of these things. And you can tell who's making money in a forum. You can tell who's making the most posts, look at their signature files, and you can approach people socially and say, hey, would you ever have a need for this or that service? So think a little bit outside the box there and use forums to your advantage, because it's a good way to develop long-term relationships. Now, a little better way, if you ask me, to get clients is by bringing them to your website, because when people come to you for work, it means they're going to pay your full rate, as opposed to you going out and perhaps soliciting work, maybe trying to give a discount as an incentive. So this is a good way to go. You should be able to put together a decent website in a day. And what is most important here is a few design elements. It's more about the copy, and it's not about making the most beautiful website. You can easily use WordPress. With most hosting plans, it's just a one-click install, and if you're really having trouble with it, you can outsource a basic WordPress website for under $100. So really don't let this hold you back. Just make sure that you turn your website into a client generation machine by having some kind of call to action. Your website should be designed to make people email you for a quote. That should be the overriding goal of your website. And how do you do that? Well, you tell them to email you for a quote. You offer high-quality samples, and you let your personality shine through a little bit so people can get a little bit of a feel for who they're working with. Something you can do to set yourself apart that almost no one does is go ahead and put a video on your website. If you go to most ghostwriters or programmers or designers' websites, they don't have videos on there. They don't have personal photos. They don't have anything that allows their personality to shine through. So if you have a little bit of personality, which I'm sure you do, go ahead and find a way to put that on your website, because it'll make people more comfortable contacting you to see if you can do business together. After that, you can just use traditional traffic generation techniques. You can put your website in your form sig file. You can write articles that are relevant to the people who you want to do business with. So relevant to people who are doing well, relevant to business owners, relevant to what problems you can solve for whoever it is you want to serve. And you can also do paid traffic. You know, if you're offering a higher end service, it's more than likely going to pay off many times if you do a little bit of paid traffic, such as PPC, Google AdWords, or potentially a little bit of forum advertising or e-zine advertising, or go to some of the more highly trafficked websites in your niche and see if you can put up a banner, something along those lines. Now, when you drive traffic to a website where you are offering a service, you can have huge margins. If you've got a service that goes for $100 or $500 or $1,000, and you drive a little bit of traffic to your website and you convert one person into a customer, well, I tell you what, that's a heck of a lot better than whatever AdSense revenue you would get by having AdSense on your website. So if you're not all that great at driving traffic, then a service business is awesome for you, because you do not need very much traffic in order to turn it into a full-time income. To give you another little example, when I was principally ghostwriting and copywriting for my income, I had my website up, copydaddy.com, and I was getting about 30 visitors per month to my website. Yet that turned into a full-time income because I converted just a few of those people into customers. So I'm going to stop this right here, and we will go on to the next video.